Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. The biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube. While we're getting everything ready, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Live YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/filmmyrun and also Twitter at filmmyrun, and the website is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax, don't forget to drop me a ride on and watch me do all the hard work. Okay, welcome along. It's the Paris Marathon long run and we're up to 90 minutes now, so that's quite a long time. 90 minutes of running, guys. I hope you're all ready for it. We are off any second now. I'm just getting my heart rate set up and away we go. 9 kilometers an hour for us for this little bit, and we'll see about speeding up a bit later on, shall we? We need to keep an eye on Victoria, make sure she doesn't stop, because we are using Apple TV again today. Carol Rushworth is with us, Sebastian, Nikki is there, Tina Beard, Clive Finnemore, Paul Hayward. Alright, so Amy is with us, but she's going to see how she gets on today because she's not been feeling too good. A bit of neck and shoulder pain. So just do as much as you can, Amy. No worries. Wow, okay. So Paul Hayward, though, on completely the other direction, is feeling very fresh after 2 days rest. Victoria says she's had 1 day of rest, but she's not feeling fresh. Somebody said they're only doing an hour. Somebody there. Tina's just doing an hour. That's absolutely fine, Tina. Of course it is. Do as much as you feel, everyone. If you don't want to go the full 90 minutes, that's fine. However, if you are training for a spring marathon, then you do need to get your long runs in. Sarah, yesterday I said I was taking a day off today, and then everybody reminded me once we'd closed the stream, and when everyone reminded me that we have the Paris Marathon training session. So I completely forgot that that is now a regular feature on a Saturday. Sebastian says, is it cold, Victoria? It is. Yeah, Victoria gets very cold hands, and it is quite cold in the shed quarters just at the moment. It will warm up. But yeah, I've had the doors open just to get some fresh air in here. Paul Hayward says, I'd like to know, in the opening credits, you show you running the Paris Marathon, did you? I think is he joking? He must be joking. Yeah, I've ran Paris Marathon 10 times now. 9 times. No, hang on. No, isn't it my 11th coming up? Are you sure? No, I thought the last one we did was my 10th. Hang on a minute. Maybe you're right. No, because my first one was 2012, wasn't it? So yes, this will be my 10th one coming up. Oh, did I run the whole thing running backwards, he's saying? Yes, I did. That first one, I wasn't really sure how to run marathons, so I thought you ran it backwards so you could see who was coming. So that's what. Yeah, I ran the whole thing backwards. Sarah Jacobson says, one of these days I'll do one of these long runs with you. Victoria's just wondering if you're just waiting till it becomes really long. Malcolm Oak, hello Malcolm, he says, hope you're well, my friend. I am, Malcolm, yes, thank you very much. And hope you are too. Haven't seen Malcolm for a while. Hello Leo, he says, thanks for the video. Hope you're both well. Yeah, thank you Leo. Yeah, if you haven't seen just a short video that we put up yesterday on Zwift Runners Facebook page. Just Leo talking about Zwift and what it means to him to run on Zwift. I thought it was pretty good things that he said. So Adam says, a great interview, Leo. You are so right about how the community is a great support. It keeps me slightly sane. But that's funny because it sends the rest of us mad. Of course, we love it. We love the community. Sarah says, of course, Victoria, with reference to running the longer runs. It'll give me more time to hang around with you and make fun of Stephen. Yeah, I don't think I ever remember Sarah making fun of me. No, she doesn't do that. Right, Will B says, evening to you both. He says, I've been making my way through your 100 miles of Watopia. A few wrong turns on the run path, surprisingly. But hats off for even attempting that distance on a treadmill. Well, we've done it twice now. So I don't know which one you're watching, Will, but yeah, we did it. We did it 2 years ago, and then we did it last year. I don't think we're going to do it this year, but we will do it again. The first year was just me on my own, pretty much. Well, with people joining me for sections. But then last year, 4 of us did it, the whole thing. There was myself, Clive Finnimore, Amy Green, and Jeff Partridge. All of us, the 4 of us, all did the full 100 miles all together. So I'm not sure which one you're watching, Will, but there was certainly some wrong turns in the first one. A lot of wrong turns in the first one. Right, anything in terms of a run, anything that goes over about an hour and a half really is a long run. So we are definitely approaching long run territory now. 1.5 hours on the treadmill, and we should cover. It depends if we speed up or not. I don't think we'll speed up very much, even if we do. But we should cover around about 14 kilometres, 14 or 15 kilometres. Hang on a minute. 14 kilometres, I'd say. Oh, right, yes, the one with Ryan Perring, Chief Navigator. Yes, that was that was hilarious because, yes, he kept telling me where to go and I kept messing up all the time. I remember, it was funny. Right, yeah, Adam Koffler says, I never see you hydrate. Right, well, the reason for that is because most of my runs on Zwift are about an hour or less than an hour. And I never feel the need to drink for anything really around about 90 minutes. But something hilarious is I've just been editing a video from my university physiology lab testing yesterday. So yesterday I went to Brighton University and did some testing. And you've got to watch it because you talk about me not drinking anything. Well, you've got to watch it. I'll upload it as soon as we finished today. But suffice to say, I've never drank so much in my life. This is Tina's last run today for a while. She is going off to have an operation. Tina, we all wish you all the best. Fingers crossed for you, Tina. Yeah, Clive says we'll be thinking of you. Tina says I'm so grateful for your support, everyone. Adam, especially when it's cold, I don't lose an awful lot of fluid through sweat. So quite often there's no need for me to drink because I'm not losing an awful lot. I do tend to hydrate afterwards. So I'll make sure I'm fully hydrated before I run, and then I will fully rehydrate after I've finished. Nikki says good luck, Tina. Yoko is wishing you well, Tina, as well. Adam says all the best, Tina. Just apply your running mentality to the op, and we'll be thinking of you. Yeah, Adam and Victoria sweat like they're in a sauna regardless of the weather. Yeah. Don't cry, Tina, you'll be swimming on the treadmill. Yeah, we'll see you back here, Tina. We'll see you back. Adam, none of us would mind if you were in the same sauna as Victoria. It's all legal and above board here. We're not in a Turkish bath anymore. You know, this is not Turkish baths we're talking about. Fully swimsuited. Yeah, easy.
I was just going to say, my body temperature just gets so hot when I'm running. So it could be freezing outside. And if I was doing a race, I would just wear a club vest. But it's my hands just get so cold. Adam is saying Austrian sauna. What's an Austrian sauna? Please enlighten us, Adam, on what an Austrian sauna is. Yeah, Sarah Jacobson is the same as me. She gets really hot except for her hands and her ears. Sarah, I've usually got a headband on, so I don't notice whether my ears get cold. Blimey, Amy wears a heavy sweater whilst running. But if I go running with Stephen, he can have 3 layers on, and I've got 1. Oh dear, Adam says no swimwear allowed in an Austrian sauna. I don't think I'd like that. What about running gear? Can you wear running gear in an Austrian sauna? Adam's saying he thinks a mankini is okay. I'm not sure I'd like to wear a mankini. Stephen said he's up to give it a try. That's a weird camera angle, Stephen. Whew. So I've been told off this week for not keeping a close eye on my training schedule. I've only been mentally making a note of my weekly distance. I was meant to do park run this morning, but I didn't get out of bed in time.
Never get.
Yes. Yeah, like I never get out of bed in time. It's really strange, but I used to be an early riser. But since the pandemic, something has happened to me, and it seems to have shifted my body clock. And I don't like getting up now at the weekends. During the week, I start work by 7:30 a.m. So I like to have a bit of a lie-in at the weekend. I'm prepared to deal with the wrath of Mr. C. Sarah, it's really weird, isn't it? Sarah's saying she can't get up early anymore. I don't think Stephen's ever been able to get up early.
I get up early going to race.
Leo's suggesting we might all have a Russian heatwave if they drop parcels in Europe. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed, Leo.
But they don't.
But they don't, yeah.
The media loves war. I've got the mic back though now, Sebastian. Sebastian says he likes this, the mic for Victoria and the screen for Stephen. Yeah, we could kind of do it two separate jobs, couldn't we? So I do the on-screen instructions and the on-screen chat, and Victoria does the microphone chat. I don't get political really, but you know, all this stuff with the Ukraine. I was reading somewhere. You know, the media loves a good potential war, doesn't it? And I was reading that a lot of people are saying, you know, Putin won't invade. He's just flexing his muscles. And the US and the UK, they all know he's not going to invade. Well, yeah, but what this article was saying, they all, you know, away from the media, this article was saying everyone knows that Putin isn't going to invade. Yeah, we don't know for sure, but I'm on the optimistic side that actually it is all, a lot of it is all media hyperbole because they love a war story, and that actually it's nowhere near as dramatic as it's being made out to be. But we could all be proved wrong.
I don't share Mr. C's optimism, but there we go. Will be saying, I'm sure you can deal with Mr. C, Victoria. Yeah, I can handle him. I'm a rebel. A rebel without a cause, eh?
Oh, there you have it.
He's muttering. I'm still moving in game. All is okay.
Clive says muscle flexing exercises near country borders and international waters is always going on. So speaks a former Marine or Navy. Oh God, what do you call yourself, Clive? Ex-forces. Let's have jokes rather than talk of war, shall we? Tina Beard's stride is very keen tonight out front. I've got a stride story for you again from yesterday. So I was wearing a stride foot pod yesterday, and I had some interesting results. So I was on a medical grade or an industrial grade treadmill. So these are the ones that cost, you know, thousands of pounds, tens of thousands of pounds. Huge thing. With the most sturdy motor and rigid belt you could possibly imagine. So when you put your foot on the treadmill belt, it's not going to slow down. Like on our, you know, even on my techno gym here, when you impact the belt of the treadmill, it slows down. And that means that you're not actually quite running as fast as you might think you are. But on the treadmill that I used yesterday at the university, the speed is not going to slow down. The belt is not going to slow down when you impact it. It's just going to keep moving at the right speed. So it was set yesterday at 11 kilometers an hour. Not terribly fast, but it was just to keep me in that kind of middle heart rate zone. And I ran for about 90 minutes. Now, what I discovered was that when I was running at my normal cadence for that speed, the stride was reading slow. So it was reading 10.7, 10.6, 10.7. But as my legs got a bit more tired, my cadence increased. So my stride length got shorter. My steps got faster. And the faster my cadence got, the more accurate the stride got. And I could alter my cadence so that the stride would read 11 kilometers per hour, which I thought was very interesting. And not really what you want, is it? Because you want the stride to be able to read your speed, whatever your cadence, whether you've got a really long, slow cadence like Sebastian, for example, or a short, fast cadence like Amy. And so that suggests that the stride is, you know, I'm always going on about the fact it's not accurate, but I hadn't realised why. Right, HR spikes. Okay, so there's no, they didn't monitor HR continually. So they only took HR readings every 15 minutes or so. So they weren't monitoring those HR spikes that I've been getting. They just wanted a general overview of where my heart rate was in relation to what they were testing for. But it was very good, and like I say, I've got a video which will be out on the Film My Run channel later on this evening. Sorry. Yes, Paul. It was connected via Ant Plus, yes, to my watch. So as well as the testing of the university students, I was doing my own little testing with my watch and the Stride foot pod. Will B says your heart rate freaks me out. Well, if you look at but look at that line now. No heart rate drops today so far. It's a straight red line today. We'll probably start getting drops in a minute, but at the moment, it's a nice straight line. Leo, okay, so I have to come clean. My son, who is 22, is at Brighton University studying sports science. So they were looking for an old man to do some testing, and my son said, "Oh, my dad does long distance running," so that's how I got to do it. But I did go last year, funnily enough, because I replied to an online questionnaire or an online request on some Facebook forum. I can't remember what it was, but they were asking for volunteers to come in and do VO2 max and threshold testing. So I volunteered for that, and I took my son along because he was just about to finish his degree, and he was thinking of going to to Brighton Uni to do his master's degree. So I took him along last year, and then I went along this year to yesterday when he was an actual student. So he's now doing his master's in sports physiology or something. Is it connected to the dog sleep? Dog sleeping in the corner. Yeah, but what's it got to do with the dog sleeping in the corner? Will, maybe I'm missing something completely obvious. What dog sleeping in what? I've got no idea. Sorry? Oh yeah, W. Yeah, but you can't explain it. Can you explain it? I don't understand what a dog sleep. Yeah, Paul Hayward. So, do you have a Garmin? Because it is well known. Well, I say it's well known. It's a known issue that the Stride FootPod doesn't play well with Garmin watches when connected via Bluetooth. So yeah, you should always connect it via Ant Plus. But it's only Garmin watches. If you have a Coros or a TomTom, what are the other ones? Sunto, then should be fine. Right, what's all this Clive saying now? Oh my God, right. Clive says his whole house currently has COVID, but somehow Clive has escaped. That's what happened to me as well. My whole house had COVID and I escaped. Well, Ellis had it. Oh. Oh, apparently not then. Apparently Ellis didn't have it until later. So yeah, all right, not all at the same time, but you have all had it and I haven't. Right, we're at 4.5 kilometres into the run. Victoria says it was a mistake eating fish and chips before this run. Yeah, no, I deliberately didn't eat all of my fish and chips. I just had some of it, so I'm not feeling too bloated. Amy says, me and the girls have had it, but the husband still hasn't had it. Sebastian says, I've ordered a Garmin heart rate monitor. The Garmin HR Pro. Yesterday, hopefully it's better than my current Chinese HR monitor. Clive says, yeah, fish and chips don't sit well during a run. No. Yeah, rookie mistake by Victoria and I. Although, yeah, so mine doesn't feel too bad. I think I can probably manage another hour without too much horribleness going on. Right, I've stopped talking about chips and chip butties. You're tempting me to get off the treadmill and go and get one. Oh, chips and curry sauce. Chips and gravy, chips and mushy peas. So Adam Koffler had a positive test this morning as well for COVID. Tina Beard is having spaghetti bolognese at 8 o'clock. You know, you got to have your shower first. Amy Green has been sensible and not eaten before this. Very sensible, Amy. Yeah. We'll chat a bit and I'm going to do some more instructions. Come on.
I've been instructed to chat. Can someone please send through a comment so that I can talk about it? I'm not sure what I should be talking about. Should I be talking about liking and subscribing and hit that bell below? No! I think we're too old for all that. Well, Leo's just finished eating chips, fish cake and beans whilst watching us do all the hard work. Leo, you do enough hard work yourself. Oh, wow, Tina's saying that they've had a wild tiger sighted locally. Blimey. Yeah, apparently we've had a shark spotted off of our local beach at Worthing. But no confirmed sighting. Paul Hayward's asking what's for tea tonight. Well, I stupidly ate my fish and chips. Now paying for it. Stig says, I've already run 10k earlier, then soaked for 1 hour in the jacuzzi, making pizza now. That sounds perfect. Why haven't we got a jacuzzi? Steve, apparently we haven't got a jacuzzi because we've got a gym instead. Or a shared quarters. Lucy and Clive Finnemore having mushroom burger. That reminds me of when Stephen and I went out for a meal with some friends a few years ago. And he saw mushroom burger on the menu. Now Stephen's logic was, when you see cheeseburger on a menu, you have a burger with cheese. As you can imagine, his disappointment when he was given a burger bun with a mushroom inside. And no actual burger. It was hilarious. Well, Amy doesn't like mushrooms. I love mushrooms. My mum used to pickle mushrooms years ago. They were nice. Always reminds me of Christmas. Lee Ryby, I just can't wait. Been looking at all your Paris Marathon videos today. Lee, it really is a superb marathon. Both from a runner and a spectator's point of view. I've done it 3 times now and supported Stephen 6 times. And I have to say, I've enjoyed every year. Really great atmosphere. Oh, blimey, Stig spent 3 hours shoveling snow before running his 10k. I'm so envious, Stig. I absolutely love snow. But we rarely get it here. Leo is wishing Tina all the best for her operation. Yeah, Tina, from the bottom of our hearts, we really do wish you all the best. Paul Hayward says it reminds him of a Catherine Tate sketch, bun and burger separate. I don't think I've seen that. Probably similar, though, to Stephen's experience, I imagine. Adam is saying, so Stephen clearly doesn't have any bad habits then. No, apparently no bad habits. I have a different opinion. One thing I will say about Paris Marathon, for me, is there are, is it 2 or 3 tunnels we go through? 3 apparently. So there's 1 long and 2 short tunnels. And it's those small inclines out of the tunnels that really get to me. And 2 out of 3 marathons I've cramped badly coming out of those tunnels, and it's just where my muscles aren't used to just the incline. They've been pounding on the flat, and it's where I haven't done enough training. Adam says, you asked for topics to talk about, Vic. I suggest that earlier. Is it about your bad habits? No. Stephen is still intrigued about or confused about sleeping dogs in corners. He's not going to sleep tonight until he's worked it out. is asking, is there much cobblestone in Paris or mostly asphalt? There are some cobblestones near the beginning, isn't it? Around
All the Champs-Élysées.
yeah. From the start, you've got cobblestones
Where we are now.
where we're running now on Zwift. From memory, that is the only section. And apparently there are others, but it really doesn't bother me. I encountered cobblestones in the London Big Half Marathon, and I found them really difficult to run on. But I think that maybe they were more raised, whereas the cobblestones in Paris, I think, is flatter. 128.
I'm reading your heart rate.
Apparently Stephen's connected to my
I
watch.
thought it was a little bit high.
I did ask you to check, and you were adamant. Hey, he's getting jolly baity. Mistakenly connected to my watch and not his chest strap. Tracy is saying, I think Will was referring to Stephen's heart rate being so low. His monitor is attached to a dog sleeping in the corner rather than Stephen's heart rate. Yes, Tracy, I agree, and that's what I tried to explain to Stephen. I don't think he was listening. The light was on, but there was nobody at home. Sarah is asking how I put up with it. Sarah, I have absolutely no idea, and I regularly question myself. Stephen would like to know if Carol is wearing her tassels today.
Okay, so earlier on I was saying, look at my heart rate, how lovely it is, nice and straight line with no dips. And all the time we were looking at Victoria's heart rate. And the minute we go to my heart rate, oh look, a massive dip down to 95 BPM and then back up again. I don't know. Oh well. So it's definitely not dodgy equipment then, is it? It's definitely my heart that does this. So you can see on the screen there. Oh, in a minute. No, you can't see it at the moment, but there you go. On the screen there, you can see the nice, steady, straight line. No heart rate dips for Victoria. Sebastian says, should I call the ambulance now? No, just hang on a minute. I might be all right. And then you can see the dip where I've gone off grid for a minute while I've put my heart rate monitor on rather than Victoria's. And now you can see how up and down and stupid it is compared to Victoria's nice straight line. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've had plenty of testing from the hospitals, you know, the various departments, and I've been given a clean bill of health, perfectly normal heart rate, apparently, for a marathon runner.
is just verifying that she is not wearing her tassels. Paul Hayward believes Stephen is taking all of this in his stride. I don't think he has much choice, to be honest. Clive Finnemore is saying, now the nice, is it flat line? Oh, the nice red line has turned into a mountain range. Clive Finnemore is saying no tassels for Carol. It's not a special occasion. She's probably saving them for Monday. Stig says there is a stretch of cobblestone in Trondheim Marathon, not long, but still a bit annoying to run on, especially on the fourth round. I guess the cobblestone in Paris is better set. Sounds good if you don't remember all the cobblestone stretches. No, it's not an issue. Like I said, the only bit I find difficult in Paris is the small inclines coming out of the tunnels. Wilby is saying, hence the sleeping dog. Straight lines is not what you have, Stephen.
Yes, will be. Okay, fair enough. Understood. Point taken. I was mad to even believe that lovely straight line was my heart rate. As Clive says, now it looks more like a mountain range with ups and downs all over the place. I mean, it's relatively steady. But yeah, you just got these stupid dips every so often that happen. I keep saying one day it's going to go down, it's not going to come back up again. But fingers crossed, it does always come back up. So, and Paul Hayward's hopping between two devices like a DJ, trying to type on YouTube and Facebook and in game as well. Carol finds it easier on YouTube. Hang on.
Leo was running in the Pennines recently and fell in heat. Absolutely fell hook, line and sinker, went up to his waistline and had to swim out of it and carried on running, covered in mud crap for another 8 miles. I was fuming when it happened, but laughed later on. It was a laugh. Being able to run long runs in the Pennines is a blessing, so I didn't stay sad for long. Leo, that sounds dangerous more than anything. Glad you're able to laugh about it and that you're okay. Tina saw the photo of Leo covered in peat bog. Am I still moving? Tina and Sebastian are both in zone 2. So is Yoko. Excellent. Paul Hayward is low zone 2. Definitely improving over the last few weeks. Well done, good work. Clive Finnemore is in zone 2, nice and green. I'm 122. Is that zone 2?
Well, for me,
I think it is. Leo's asking if we've got similar stories of being out running.
So Victoria is currently comfortable in zone 2 as well. I think I'm still just about zone 1, so I should be okay. I'd be zone 2 if I was running about 11. Like yesterday, for example, they set the treadmill at 11 kph yesterday, and I stayed in zone 2 for the whole of that run. But this is zone 1 for me. But it's still good to run in zone 1, very good indeed, in fact. Lee Ryby has a high heart rate as normal. Lee, how are you recording your heart rate? Is it a chest strap or is it on your wrist? What's the story? I've never fallen waist deep in peat. I have fallen into a peat bog before. I nearly broke my leg, actually, on a run on the Southwest Coast Path, summer 2017 or something. It was a nighttime run, and the race organiser had warned us about badger holes, to be on the lookout for badger holes. Well, I was running with my head torch on on this field, and I had my camera in my hand. I was filming, and I just stepped straight into this hole, and how I didn't snap my shin bone, I have no idea, but I fell straight into this hole with my right leg. Well, went face down, smashed my camera off the floor, and lay there dazed for a couple of minutes. And when I got up, my camera wouldn't work. It wouldn't turn on. It wouldn't do anything. But I was just thankful that I hadn't broken my leg. It was a bit sore, but it was fine. But weirdly, about an hour later into the run, my camera suddenly just started working again. So that's my falling over story. I haven't fallen over. I don't fall over very often. I'm a stickler usually for keeping my eyes on the floor and trying to watch where I'm going. Especially some of the races that I do. If you fall, it could be very serious. So I take fewer risks than maybe the elite runners do. And I run slower, and I have my eyes fixed on the floor and to see what's coming next. So I don't fall over very often. But I have fallen over. Most people would say in 12 years of running long distance races, 10 years of running long distance races, most people have fallen over once or twice. Okay, Lee Ryby does use a heart rate strap, so that should be fairly reliable, Lee. So just take it easy, relax. Try to get that heart rate as low as you can whilst still running. Amy says she's broken both her feet falling downstairs, not at the same time. So she's broken one foot falling downstairs and then on a different occasion broken the other foot. No, Leo, I've never fallen off the treadmill either. I've had close escapes, so I've been running on the treadmill and I've caught my foot on the edge of the treadmill and wobbled quite badly. But I've never actually fallen off, no. Yeah, sometimes I've been going at such a speed that Victoria's been very worried that I would fall off. There are some hilarious videos on YouTube, aren't there, of people falling off treadmills. I've spent many a happy Sunday evening watching them.
Paul Hayward says, apart from the start of that Paris Marathon, that's not looking where you're going. He says that is true. Carol, I was tired doing a long run. Coming to the end, was watching a group of firemen tripped over a speed hump and got a stress fracture. Oh my God, Carol. How did you explain that in the hospital? Or did the firemen carry you? Sarah says, I almost fell yesterday when Stephen tried to say mirror in an American accent. I don't think I can speak in an American accent. Our children often talk in American accents.
Or they use American
phrases from all the online videos they've watched. Sarah, I always tease Stephen about his English accent and pronunciations. Although he's lived in the south of England for many years, he still has a northern twang and will say things like bath instead of bath. Tina tripped over a mop, landed on the toaster and broke 3 ribs. Wow. How do you actually coordinate doing that? So both Clive's daughters and Amy's daughters are the same as our children, using American phrases. I sometimes have to remind our children that we have lifts, not elevators. Rubbish, not garbage.
Sidewalk.
Oh, apparently Elsa said sidewalk instead of pavement.
Well, that's another example of Americans saying things more sensible. It is the
Yeah, it may sound more sensible. Clive almost fell off the treadmill wearing a dinosaur suit. I think the video 5K needs to come with a disclaimer that we are not responsible for anybody's health and safety issues on their treadmill. Carol's saying they all laughed at the hospital. Bye, Tina. Hope to see you soon. Clive carried out a risk assessment before the video 5K. It clearly wasn't a very thorough risk assessment. I used to be the risk assessor when I worked at Burberry's and Scotch House.
Right, Marcus Holmes has I don't know how he manages it, but he must have us on in one earpiece the whole day. He spied us talking about American accents and Americanisms, and he's here to defend the Americanisms. But I was just saying, Marcus, and I was saying this yesterday as well when we were talking about it, that a lot of the American ways of saying things, American phraseology, makes a whole lot more... Oh yeah, we were talking about American spellings yesterday. American spellings and American phraseology sometimes, actually, it simplifies things and makes things more obvious. So we were very interested that our daughter said, "Can't we walk on the sidewalk?" And I said, don't you mean pavement? In Britain we have pavements. In America they have sidewalks. But when you think about it, a sidewalk, it's a side where you walk. It makes sense. Whereas, pavement, what does that mean? It's just because the pavement used to be made of paving stones, but in fact a lot of pavements these days aren't paving stones, they're just tarmac, like the road. And so we were talking about spellings as well, and how American spellings are often more sensible, even though it makes us retch to look at the spelling. Actually, when you read it, it does make more sense. Just saving letters. You don't need all those extra letters for the word through, for example, THROUGH. Why don't you just say THRU? Saves a whole lot more space, whole lot more letters. Sounds the same. Sorry.
But Stephen, you wouldn't earn as many points in Scrabble if you spelt like that. He's a big Scrabble fan. Tina will hopefully join us for intervals on Tuesday. Yeah. This Tuesday are those evil intervals where it pushes us all out of our comfort zones. I'm already nervous. Interesting. Sarah says, I didn't know that pavement was sidewalk until the Adele song Chasing Pavements was released. Paul Hayward has a boulevard near him.
That's all French, isn't it? A lot of our words.
There's a lot of American phrases that I'm not aware of, Sarah. And I really embarrassed myself recently whilst having a conversation with Stephen. I've gone years thinking I knew why something was called a certain thing in American. A bum bag.
Victoria's too embarrassed to explain it. Is this because you thought it was on the front? Yeah. Okay, so right, Victoria is, she grew up on a farm, miles from any towns, and sometimes I wonder if that's affected her general knowledge about certain stuff, because. Right, so, okay, I'm going to say it, and I apologise, and I'm going to say it. Yeah, I'm going to explain. Right, in England, the word fanny does not mean bottom, does not mean your ass. The word fanny is the other side, the front bit. And Victoria thought that, because we call it a bum bag, because it rests on your bum. It rests on the back. Whereas Victoria thought some people wear it on the front, and Victoria thought the people that wear it on the front, that's why it's called a fanny pack, because you wear it on the front. Oh, bless her. And I had to explain to her, no, that's just the Americanism. It's the American word for your bottom, behind. not the front. Oh dear. How we laughed. Will B doesn't like fanny pack. I think we'd be here quite a long time, Sarah, if you had to explain all Americanisms to us. And I guess there are some Americanisms which you don't think of as Americanisms because you don't know, like, for example, sidewalk. And you didn't know that the British have their own word for sidewalk, which is pavement. So for you, that wouldn't have been an Americanism. Yeah, I probably watched more American sitcoms like Friends and Frasier and things like that when I was younger than you didn't watch. You never watched those things. You were too busy watching Farming Weekly and Countryside Update. Right, we're over 10k now, by the way, into our Paris Marathon training run. This is what long runs are all about, by the way. It's, running with groups of friends, chatting about inane, daft stuff. So, the run goes by quicker, and you get your long run done. You get your 1.5 hours, or your 2 hours, or your 3 hour run in, and it goes by because you're chatting with your friends, and the time flies by. And look, we've got just over 20 minutes left of the run. Paul Hayward's put the fans on. Clive Finnemore says Victoria's a country bumpkin, and says something about the young farmers dance. Right, Victoria. Oh, Victoria says she refused to join the young farmers. But honestly, when Victoria was younger, if she'd gone to a young farmers dance, or dance as I say in the north, she would have had no clue that any of the guys were hitting on her. Victoria is notoriously rubbish at spotting that guys are chatting her up. Hang on.
We used to hold barn dances on our farm. We used to have Yetis play on the farm. And my first ever concert that my parents took me to was to see the Wurzels. Stephen is so embarrassed. The Wurzels are country yokel folk group from the, I don't know if they started in the 60s or 70s. They were from the neighbouring county, and the Yetis were from the county I grew up in Dorset. Probably why I rebelled in my early 20s and ran away with a rock band to tour Europe. Amy Green's father grew up on a farm. Clive Finnemore remembers the one-hit wonder by the Wurzels. It wasn't called One Hit Wonder. Was it the Combine Harvester? Is that their One Hit Wonder? I've got a brand new Combine Harvester and I'll give you the keys. I have driven a Combine Harvester, but not out in the fields.
Wow. So Sebastian has just said, all of us talking about growing up in the country and on little farms and things like that. Sebastian grew up in the German Democratic Republic. Seb, how was your childhood? What kind of childhood was that? In all seriousness. Was it a tough upbringing? Was it how different was it, do you think, to the children growing up in other countries, or in like Western countries, or on the other side of the wall? I'm sorry if that's causing you lots of typing and your heart rate to go sky high. Don't worry, Seb, I totally understand. It's fine. Is everyone still managing to maintain Zone 2 running? Question mark. Yes, tell us in Paris, yes. Clive Finnemore, heart rate 125. Victoria is 122. Sebastian is 125. I've literally just got another massive drop down to 82 BPM. 123 for Paul Hayward, excellent stuff. So I think I'm about 111 at the moment, just comfortably, yeah, oh, there we are, shooting up to 120 all of a sudden. 130 for Yoko, good stuff Yoko, well done. So I should come down again now to around about 112, 111. Wurzel Gummidge and Aunt Sally. Now, those are names that any Americans amongst us really won't get at all. That was a classic television show about country bumpkins.
Reminds me of the Queen's Silver Jubilee. What year was that? 1977. Our local village had celebrations at the village hall with a fancy dress party. My brother refused to join in, but my mum, my dad and I went along as village yokels, farmers, idiots, whatever you like to call us. We wore our own clothes and we won the competition. It is absolutely true. My mum still has the mug that we won. I don't think people realised we were wearing our own clothes. Carol says, think of the tassels. That will bring your heart rate up. Carol, he doesn't need encouraging. Yeah, this one that we won, it was like a leather-bound mug that was embossed. Of course, I wasn't born though in 1977. I've just realised that. I've just made a huge mistake. Stephen is shattering my illusion, saying everybody knows I'm older than 25. I'm at least 35. How rude. So we've been running for an hour and 15 minutes. Hour and 18 minutes. Less than 15 minutes to go. 12 minutes. Time flies when you're having fun. Apparently we're going to finish on 13.5 kilometres. I have no idea because I can only see the streaming software and chat.
Sebastian apparently went to school in a Russian school for 6 years. He doesn't say whether it was a Russian school in Russia or a Russian school in Germany, but he thinks he should speak better Russian than he does English. Huh.
When I was at university, I won a travel award to help pay for a study trip to Russia. I went to St. Petersburg. I knew da and yet, yes and no, and very little else. I travelled on my own. I don't think my parents slept, but definitely my mum was terrified. It was 1994. Not many years after Glasnost and Perestroika. I stayed with a Russian family. They had 2 doors on their flat with 7 locks, and I had to have a lesson in how to unlock the doors to get in. Because I didn't understand the alphabet, I had to count the number of stops when using the underground. And I remember getting an interview with the manager of the Littlewood store in St. Petersburg. It was in Littlewoods, but it was only the prostitutes that could afford to shop there. And it was still, people didn't trust each other, and I had to stand outside of the shop with a copy of the St. Petersburg Press under my left arm, and they would know it was me, and they came out and got me so that I could interview the manager. I think I was really naive in my early 20s, but it was a fantastic trip. And because I travelled on my own, I think I absorbed more of the culture than had I been with another British person. But I do remember going places and people shouting at me, and if I repeatedly heard the word "niet," I knew I had to get out.
just bear in mind, everyone, this is the early 90s when most teenagers were experimenting with drugs. So this whole thing might have been a dream for Victoria. She thinks she went to St. Petersburg. She thinks she did all this stuff. In actual fact, she was just slumped at the back of a nightclub. No? Oh, apparently she did go. Oh, she had a tour of the backstage of what's it called? Bolshoi? You say all that.
I was privileged to be given tickets to the Mariinsky Theatre to watch the ballet Giselle, and then I was given a backstage tour by the lighting director. It was absolutely fascinating. But when I visited the country, there were two pricing systems. So if you were Russian, you literally paid pence to go to the ballet. But if you were a tourist, it would probably have been 60, 80 US dollars, which I couldn't have afforded as a student. John Farrell says, amazing, Victoria. Thank you, John. I desperately wanted to go on the train to Moscow, but the family I stayed with, they said absolutely no way. That would have been too dangerous, a step too far. I finished my chips. My heart rate is flicking between 123 and 124. Stephen is at 94. Yeah, another drop. Back up. Now 115. 114. Yeah, it's coming back down. Very strange. Well, we've only got about 5 minutes left to run. Well, I really enjoyed tonight again, thank you. What do you mean I actually kept running?
TV has been very reliable.
Oh, okay. He's saying Apple TV is very reliable today. I thought he was being rude about my ability to run.
Thanks for giving my dad a ride on.
Double me. Get those buttons, Stephen. Well done to everyone who has run tonight. And thank you all for the chat. This is why I like Zwift. It makes marathon training seem bearable, if not fun. Stephen's dropping ride-ons. Hopefully he gets everyone. Yoko says, thank you, Victoria and Stephen. I got many tips today too. Thanks for joining us, Yoko. It's always a pleasure. Paul Hayward says, it makes marathon training like a walk in the park. Indeed. I always remember when I was training for my first marathon, Stephen made a film my run video of it, and when I finished my first ever 20-mile training run, he asked me, what do you think of marathon training? And my response was, I don't like it, whilst lying on the floor in a mess. Carol saying thank you all. Thanks, Carol.
Right, guys, go and eat some protein at the end of this. Go and have some food. Always a good idea to try and eat some food within 45 minutes of finishing the run. Preferably high protein food. So any muscle breaking down that we've had, you're more likely to get muscle tearing, micro tearing in your muscles from VO2 max efforts, hard running. But you'll still get a little bit of micro tearing, so go and eat some protein to build up those muscles again. And that's it, we're done. 1 hour, 30 minutes, 13.5 kilometers done. Well done, everybody. Take care. Thanks very much for watching. And thanks very much for taking part. Congratulations if you finished the whole 90 minutes. And we will be running for 1 hour and 35 minutes next week, so 95 minutes next week. Paul Hayward says thanks, good double act. Yeah, I think we worked that out about 10 years ago, that we were quite a good double act. So I guess that's why we got married. Well, maybe a bit longer ago, was it? Okay. And yeah, so thank you very much, everybody. Mark Mansueto says amazing running, everyone. Amy says thank you. No, well, listen, thank you, guys. So do keep an eye out. We've got a video dropping on the Film My Run channel tonight, all about my testing at Brighton University yesterday. So there's that. And then don't forget to join us for the Monday community run, and then the Tuesday Paris Marathon interval sessions. Hard work on Tuesday. That's your one bit of really hard work every week is Tuesday evenings now. Especially this Tuesday. It's a tough one this Tuesday. So take care, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. From me and Victoria, it's bye-bye. Take care. Bye.